welcome to the Tainted Tavern, and today I've got a pipe tobacco review for you. And this is a very, very strong pipe tobacco. This is a pipe tobacco that's not recommended for beginners, and that is Samuel Gawith's Black XX Finest Kendal Twist. So it's kind of a rope tobacco. Now this is made up entirely of Virginias. No added flavourings at all, so it's pure tobacco taste. Now this tin, full disclosure, has had about 10 years of aging in my cellar. As you can see, when I open the tin, you can see the packaging there is rather brown. The paper inside the tin is rather brown. But I've smoked this once or twice across the years. But it's still virtually intact. This was a 50 gram, so you can see there it's a rope type. I call it a rope, some people call it twist, some people call it an elongated plug. I personally call it a rope. So it's a Virginia tobacco. Now with preparation for this, what you need to do is you take a knife and you slice a few pieces off and then rub it out if you want to, or sprinkle it, whatever, into your bowl. Now, as I say, this is a very strong tobacco, so I'm going to be smoking it in this little basically this is a it's marked up as an Aster. It's basically a Conway second, so one that didn't make the grade, maybe because of some problems with it, maybe it needed the odd fill, or maybe something to do with the briar pattern or the way it was drilled. But this is a fantastic little pipe. It dates back from the 1970s, but I smoked it for the first time this pipe had ever been smoked the other week, because this was purchased by a friend of mine in an auction of old stock from a tobacconist that had long closed down. But the pipe does go back to the 1970s. The reason I'm using this pipe is it's a very small pipe, so it's a quick smoke. And that's basically what you need with this twist type tobacco. It's quite dry now because it's had a lot of aging, and it has dried out somewhat. But it's not dry to the extent that it'll need rehydrated, and in fact, it'll probably smoke better without being rehydrated. Now, as I say, it's a straight Virginia tobacco. There's no flavourings. It's a cut rope twist style, and this is usually purchased as 50 gram tins. The appearance of it is it's almost jet black. Looks rather striking compared to a standard loose cut pipe tobacco. I'm just preparing it here for smoking on my little tray. It's quite a tough beast. So as you can see there, I've prepared it there for smoking. It is a little dry, I feel, but so you know, this is gonna give a pungent room note. So let's fill the pipe now. Samuel Gawith, of course, are a tobacco company with a long history. Situated over in Kendal in the Lake District, which is why a lot of their tobaccos, particularly those using their proprietary toppings, are known as being in the Lakeland style. Now this tobacco, it's been a long time since I smoked it. Can't say it was ever my favourite, although I did appreciate its strength. I do like a strong tobacco from time to time, so you know. I'm just going to empty the remainder of this back into the tin. Tobacco's a little bit expensive to waste. And let's have a look what we got from the tin here. As I say, this is a 10-year-old tin. Gory picture there on the background. Tells us Samuel Gawith's Black XX Finest Kendal Twist, made by Samuel Gawith and Company Limited, Kendal, Cumbria, England. It's marked up as 50 grams net weight. So let's retire to the bothy of broken dreams because I ain't going to smoke this in the house. There's no way I'll hide this aroma from the other half. So we're going to retire to the bothy of Broken Dreams, and we're going to partake in a bowl of Black Double X. Right, now as I said, this is not a smoke for the faint of heart, though I do like strong flavours. My favourite scotches, for instance, are usually the heavily peated ones. I do like an heavily peated whiskey. And the same with tobaccos, with pipe tobaccos. I do tend to enjoy Latakia heavy blends, of course. Now Latakia, whilst not particularly potent in nicotine, it is potent in taste and the flavour profile. Now a straight Virginia, which is what this Black Double X Rope is quite potent in the nicotine stakes, and I'm open for a taste to match that. As I say, I have smoked this in the past, and it wasn't a particular favourite of mine. I found it a bit too, maybe even a little too overwhelming, but it's had a lot longer age now. Now I also managed to rehydrate this slightly through the method, where I just rehydrate a bowl at a time. So I made a circle of my hand, put it over the bowl, and breathe through it. And that really does work. I learned that from reading one of Rick Newcomb's books. It's either In Search of Pipe Dreams or Still Searching for Pipe Dreams. Wonderful books. Any pipe smokers should be part of your library. Let's get this sparked up though, and I've ordered some tobacco. This week I ordered small amounts, 10 grams, to try some tobaccos that I'd never tried before. So I ordered 2 from Rattrays. I think one was Black Virginia and the other one was Old Gowrie. And then I ordered something from Wilson's of Sharrow. I'm not sure if I ordered Epiphany or was it Epiphany? I'm not sure. Anyway, I'd have to check that. So look for reviews of those tobaccos coming up on the Tainted Tavern very shortly.
As I watch the sun descending and the birds fly home to rest in the hush when day is ending, as the
Took to the flame quite easily. Just the charring light there. Tap the tobacco down slightly.
hour when I feel blessed, smoking my pipe, smoking my pipe. Like a whisper through the cornfield comes a gentle evening breeze. At the doorway of my cottage I recall old memories, smoking my pipe.
As I say, there's no added flavourings. It's a natural tobacco taste. It's still got that meaty robustness to it. But maybe the years it's had in the tin has toned it down a little bit, though it is very earthy, very very earthy.
Smoking my pipe. Those far off places beyond the blue, familiar faces that once I knew. I recall those days behind me and the happiness they meant. Every sundown you will find me with a...
Can you hear the rain again? Seems to have done nothing but rain these last couple of weeks. But yes, very earthy. It needs to be smoked slowly, I think. At this stage of the smoke, I'm not getting that sweetness that I usually associate with Virginias. Though the grassiness that you get from Virginias is there, but it's a lot stronger. It's not only grassy, but half of the clodging of earth that was clung to it seems to be evident. It's not unpleasant though the strength is evident. As I say, it's had 10 years aging, so I'm going to order another one of these just to compare it fresh. But that is strong, and for someone who likes strength in terms of both nicotine and flavour profile, this may be a little bit strong even for me. It's starting to develop now a more of a familiar Virginia type profile. Excuse me. Wow, that makes you cough. What I will say is I was definitely wise to do this in my bantam bowl. If I had a full-size bowl, yeah, I think I'd pass out. Okay, this is not going to be for an inexperienced pipe smoker. It's not going to be for someone who doesn't like full-strength pipe tobacco. But that's not to knock it. If you buy this, then presumably you know you're buying a full-strength tobacco. You know you're buying a strong, potent, traditional-style tobacco. You don't even have to smoke this. You can bite a bit off and chew it if you wish. Which was, I believe, the reason that ropes and twists were developed in the first place, for the sailors to take to sea with them. Easier to transport, keep it in a little pouch. I mean, you can bite off a bit if you can't smoke and chew it, or snap off some, fold it up and put it into the bowl. Tobaccos like this you'd only see from a specialist tobacconist. Now I've become acclimatized to the strength of the taste. I'm starting to enjoy it a bit more. Earthy Virginia heavy. It would be, since that's all that's in you is Virginia. But there's a taste in the back of my mouth that I'm finding difficult to put into words. It's not unpleasant, but it's very earthy is the only way to describe it. When you get it going, it burns really well, as you can see. I'll be hiccuping before I finish this bowl. I know that because I am definitely feeling a nicotine hit. The phenomenon of pipe tobacco, smoking a pipe giving you hiccups, pipe smokers call that the niccups. Taking the word nicotine and hiccups, joining together, niccups. And strong tobaccos do tend to do that. And this is going to start me hiccuping now. When I was a kid and I had hiccups, my mother used to say it meant I was growing. Presumably you went and you stretched yourself a little bit. I wish that was true. When my grandmother especially, used to say a load of crazy things. If you pulled a face, she'd reckon if the weather changed, you'd stay like it, you know. So you're not like this one day, and all of a sudden the weather changes, so you're going through life like that. They used to say some crazy things. My grandmother never farted on accident, which she usually often did when she was watching about. She'd turn and say, "Wherever you may be, let your wind go free, because that was the death of me, you see." It's a flavour that is much enhanced from regular Virginia blends that I'm used to. Virginia's usually come across to me as grassy, even sweet, because of the natural sugars. I'm not getting any sweetness at all here. And whilst I am getting that grassiness, there's a lot more complexity to it than that. Almost earthy is what I want to say, but I don't want to. I'm starting to hiccup. But I don't want to give the impression that it's like I'm in a mouthful of mud. It's not. It's a very creamy but earthy taste, if that makes any sense. And I'm hiccuping. I knew that would happen. It's a strong tobacco. I suppose the benefits would be that you have a bowl of this, you can go to sleep for an hour. That's a peated Scotch, that's a Lafroy. And even that Scotch is tasting mild in comparison to this.
As I watch the sun descending and the birds fly home to rest, in the hush when day is ending, that's the hour when I feel blessed, smoking my pipe.
So for someone who considers himself to favour strength in tobaccos, stronger tobaccos, strong tasting and with a reasonable nicotine hit. This would not be an all-day smoke for me, even though I do favour strength in terms of taste and nicotine. This would not be all day. It's very, very, very strong. But it's also intriguing. It's also very comfortable out here in the bath of your broken dreams in the middle of winter with this little heater here. You can see that I bought from Amazon. £15 I think. Really sending out a nice amount of heat. That Wilson of Shadow tobacco I bought that I got on the way from GQ Tobacco was maybe Inspiration. I think it may have been called Inspiration. But you'll have a full review from that, and I highly recommend GQ Tobaccos. Brilliant company. There are a few online tobacconists I use. GQ. My smoking shop is quite good. My smoking shop tends to have a big range, so I use those. And sometimes they're quite cheap. And Black Swan tobacconists are another one I like. I have used James Barber as well from time to time, but given the crazy taxation now on tobacco, they're pretty much all the same in terms of price. But all of those tobacconists I just mentioned, they give a good customer-centric experience. I fully expect to be reviewing Rattray's Old Gowrie tomorrow at the latest. I think you'll get your name. Old Gowrie's interested because Rattray's were a Scottish tobacco company in Perthshire, Scotland, and Gowrie was an area of Perthshire, Old Gowrie. But again, Samuel Gawith, who produced this tobacco, have been going for centuries. And all of their tobaccos, whether they to your own personal taste or not, are at least high quality tobaccos. This is okay. I mean, I'm not used to this amount of strength. This is mellowed from what it was like fresh. And although I have smoked it fresh, it was a long time ago, so I can't really remember then. This must be fall down on your ass when it's fresh. But it's nice. Grassy, earthy. Very, very potent. Probably a pure, authentic Virginia taste, which you don't probably experience that often if you're like me, because although I do smoke a lot of Virginia forward blends, they're usually mixed with other tobaccos to enhance the Virginia-ness of it, or Virginia-ness, good word, isn't it?
Smoking my pipe like a whisper through the cornfield comes a gentle evening breeze at the doorway of...
Yes, nice. It's in no way mild. It's grassy, earthy. Not any sweetness though, which you would expect from a Virginia blend.
My cottage, I recall all memories. Smoking my pipe. Smoking my pipe.
Perhaps the way to describe what I'm experiencing in the back of my throat, the aftertaste of this, the finish if you like, is like when I was a youngster and we'd have bonfires at bonfire night, and we'd usually get a potato, wrap it in tin foil and chuck it in a fire, leave it in the embers overnight, and then you'd eat that potato first thing in the morning and it'd be so delicious. And you'd eat the skin as well. When the taste you got from that blackened skin, that's very much the taste I'm getting in the back of my throat.
Those far off places beyond the blue, familiar.
Cremated spud. Huh. Quick to say there's no sweetness at all. It may have a slight Virginia sweetness. Very slight though. Once you've had a few puffs and you get used to the potency, it's quite enjoyable. It does take you by shock at first. Then it seems to tone down slightly. Maybe that's just you becoming acclimatized. But yeah, that jacket potato skin taste. A proper jacket potato made in an open fire. Burned to a cinder. That taste is there.
Faces that once I knew, I recall those days behind.
Also a lot of the rustic qualities that Virginia tends to bring. Grass, hay. Countryside. That's what Virginia tobaccos evoke for me, the countryside.
Find me and the happiness they meant. Every sundown you will find me with a heart that is content. Smoking my pipe. Smoking my pipe.
Virginia tobaccos, of course, given the name Virginia, you could be forgiven for thinking, well, it grows in Virginia in the US, which it does, but it's grown virtually anywhere tobacco is grown. Virginia is a very versatile tobacco crop that can thrive in a lot of different ecosystems. Used a lot, of course, in cigarettes, merely to add that strength, alongside burley, which is another stringent nicotine carrier. I might have another bowl of this before I retire for the evening. I might have a bowl tonight. So for now, I will leave you with these thoughts. Black XX from Samuel Gawith, very strong. Just Virginia tobaccos pressed into a rope or a twist. On the strong side, probably up there with the strongest pipe tobaccos available. So not for newcomers, it will frighten you off. Upon light in the bowl, it wasn't particularly pleasant, but that was probably the shock of the strength of the thing. As the bowl has progressed, it's sweetened slightly, but ever so slightly. I suppose even if you don't get on with something like this, it's worth smoking to get that pure tobacco taste. No toppings, nothing else, just the one type of tobacco prepared in a way to retain all of its strength, all of its robustness. It's worth smoking for that.